Hey you guys, today I'm going to show you how to draw this Ferris wheel. Now what I really love about this project is it reminds me of going to an amusement park or a carnival at night when all the lights are going and it really lights up the sky in these beautiful colors. For this project, I'm using a black piece of paper and chalk. If you don't have chalk, you're probably going to want to use a white piece of paper, and that way you can use crayons as well or markers. So this project, even though you may use different materials than me, it's still doable. You can still follow along with whatever materials you have. You're also going to need a plate. All right, to start, take your plate and offset it on your paper. So I'm not putting it in the middle, I'm moving it off to the side. Now I'm going to trace the part of the plate that's on my paper with a pencil, and I'm using a pencil to start because we're going to be overlapping, so I want to make sure that I know where everything's going before I make it permanent. Now I'm going to draw my middle, which again is off center. And I'm going to give the outline of my Ferris wheel a little bit of body. So it's not a single line. It's an actual, piece of metal or whatever they're made out of. Now I'm going to add the different baskets that people would traditionally be hanging out in as they're looking out over the fair. So I'm going to make sure when I draw each one that they stay right side up. So even as I move down around the Ferris wheel, I'm going to make sure they stay right side up. So you'll see they start to change their relation to that circle around the outside. See, this one is kind of going over it. And then if I were to keep going, they would go underneath the circle, but we can't see it just because of the perspective we have on our Ferris wheel. Okay, I'm going to add some lines, and yes, I'm going through my baskets. You can put yours wherever you want, but I kind of like the way they go through it. All right, so this is my outline. Now I'm going to begin coloring. I happen to have construction paper crayons, which means they really do well on the black paper. If you don't have these crayons, which I only had by luck, I happened to grab them from my classroom, you can use oil pastels, or again, if you're using a white piece of paper instead, it'll be much easier to draw with the crayons. So use what materials you have and color in all of your baskets. I'm doing complementary colors on the color wheel, so I'm doing blue with orange, I'm doing yellow with purple, and then I'll do red with green. And I'm just kind of going to go around and fill them in. I'm using multiple colors so it looks like they have shape and some highlights to go with them. I'm going to finish off my Ferris wheel with the crayons or oil pastels by coloring the metal bit, the wheel, and the inside as well. From here, if you have chalk, this is where the fun, messy part begins. I'm going to start roughly applying my chalk color in an outgoing radial pattern. So I'm starting in the middle of my Ferris wheel and I'm moving out towards the edge of my paper. If you don't have chalk, you can use crayons, you can use markers, you could even use watercolor if you wanted to. If you have chalk, once you've got a little bit going, you're gonna start blending. And I really like to apply a couple colors that overlap and then slowly build up the blend so that all my colors mix together. This is one of my favorite memories from childhood, is like being at an amusement park or a carnival at night. And then I remember like all of my friends and I would just get together and we'd be able to run around, you know, and we'd see all the lights, especially if it was like foggy. Ugh, such good times, you guys. All right, so I'm just gonna keep on applying colors, and I'm kind of working with warm colors in one section and then cool colors in another section, but you can do it however you'd want. You know, maybe you decided to have all of your baskets on the Ferris wheel warm colors and your background is gonna be cool colors, or maybe you really wanna celebrate a holiday and so all the colors in the sky are the same. It's really up to you, however you want to fill your background with colors. Now that I'm done with the chalk, I do want to define my Ferris wheel a little bit better. So I'm going to go back over it with the crayons to kind of reapply those highlights. And then I'll also use a black oil pastel or crayon, and I'll go back over and outline my Ferris wheel. And it's going to give a nice contrasting look where it's going to really make everything stand out and define it. The only thing is, if you used chalk, make sure you do not use marker, because if you go over chalk with marker, it will ruin the tip of your marker. Other than that, you can use whatever you have. Experiment, try different things out. And after you're done with this, you'll redo the spokes of the Ferris wheel. I'm going right through, and then I'll add a little bit of white highlight to finish it off. And there you go, your night sky Ferris wheel. Stay till the end to see.